is time now for another edition of Living Akamai. And today, Mukaigawa of Engel and Volkers focuses on estate planning and some of the issues that might arise.
We're so happy to have Michelle Ogata, Principal Attorney of Estate Planning Partners, joining us again today to discuss the common pitfalls when it comes to planning your estate. Thanks for joining us, Michelle.
Thank you for having me.
So what are some of the issues that are overlooked?
As a realtor, Kay, I'm sure you see it all the time, where someone passes away and the family cannot agree on what to do with the home. This is the most common reason for fighting when a loved one passes. Typically, we see this when parents pass away and the children inherit the property. One wants to sell the property, one wants to keep the property, and in many instances, a child is still living in the home. In the state of Hawaii, when there are multiple owners of property, all of the owners need to agree on what to do with the property before they can do anything. If one wants to sell and not everyone is in agreement, then that person will need to go to court and file an action for partition, which means time and attorney's fees. To avoid this, we recommend that people consider who they are leaving their home to, whether those beneficiaries will be able to work together amicably to decide what to do with the property, and then make sure their trust clearly states what is to happen to the home when they pass. As an example, the trust may include provisions where the beneficiaries may decide what to do with the home, but if they are unable to reach an agreement within a certain amount of time, the property will be sold and the proceeds split. Another example is if a child is living in the home and the parents want to make sure the child can continue to live there after the parents are gone, provisions may be included in the trust to specifically allow that. The bottom line, Kay, is that people should consider their home, which is oftentimes their most valuable asset, when planning their estate.
Gosh, that is a lot of information and super valuable. You know, you hear terms like successor trustee. So I know it's an important role. What do they do?
The role of a successor trustee and naming the right person for the job is extremely important. Naming the wrong person is another common pitfall we see. The successor trustee is legally responsible for carrying out the terms of the trust, and the successor trustee owes legal duties to the beneficiaries: a duty of care, a duty of loyalty, a duty to communicate. Good qualities for a successor trustee is someone who is trustworthy because he or she will have access to the assets, someone who is diligent and responsible and unbiased because work will need to be done, and someone who has a good relationship with the beneficiaries. Problems occur when the successor trustee procrastinates, does not seek the appropriate guidance or assistance, or does not communicate with the beneficiaries.
I've had situations where the person had a trust and the family still had to go to court and go through this whole court proceeding process after the person passed away. So could you give an example of what went wrong?
There are several situations where the beneficiaries would still end up in a court proceeding after a loved one has passed, but most commonly, it's because assets were not funded to the trust. Funding the trust means changing ownership of the assets to the trust. For example, with real property, it's important that the owner of the property is the trust. By having the trust as the owner of the property may pass to the beneficiaries without any court proceedings. Oftentimes, people create a trust, change ownership of the property to the trust, but then subsequently refinance their mortgage. If the mortgage company takes the property out of the trust and the owner does not make sure the property is put back into the trust, then the property will go through probate court when the owner passes away. Therefore, making sure the trust is the owner of the assets, specifically real property, is important.
I think it's important that people have their trust reviewed regularly, you know, and such great information. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Kay.
If you would like to talk to Michelle Ogata or have any questions, give us a call at 808-725-2000. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next Tuesday. Let Engel and Volkers Honolulu simplify your life.
All right, thanks, Kay. We really appreciate the information. Of course, there are a ton of past segments on k2n2.com. And of course, there's always seminars, so you can go ahead and contact them.
Yeah, and estate planning is so important. It's something that we should all be thinking about now.
Yeah.
So make sure you hit them up. We'll have a link to their website on our website at k2n2.com.